Attention passionate Cleveland Browns fans. Latest news. Something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run. A power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Cleveland Browns fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you're a Browns fan, you know that every offseason, the headlines seem to shift and evolve. But this year, it feels like something truly game-changing is on the horizon. Cleveland, as we all know, has been building, retooling, and trying to find that perfect mix that can take us back to the heights we saw in the 1980s and early 2000s. And this latest move has everyone talking. The Browns made a bold, strategic decision when they traded away their number 2 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Yes, you heard that right. They didn't use that pick to select a potential franchise quarterback or a game-changing star right away. Instead, Cleveland traded it away, and what they got in return might be even more intriguing. A 2026 first-round draft pick from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this isn't just a move for the sake of clearing cap space or making a quick fix. No, this is a calculated step, a signal that the Browns are playing the long game, and they're already eyeing their future quarterback. It's a bold move, especially in today's NFL where the draft is highly scrutinized, and every team is desperate to find that elusive franchise quarterback. But Cleveland's front office seems to be playing chess while others are playing checkers. They're not rushing into a quarterback situation just for the sake of it. Instead, they're positioning themselves to make a splash in the 2026 draft, which, as many experts believe, could be one of the most talent-rich classes in recent memory. And speaking of potential quarterbacks, recent rumors and expert analyses are pointing towards some very interesting targets. One name that's been gaining a lot of traction among NFL insiders and draft analysts is LaNorris Sellers, the quarterback from South Carolina. Now, if you're not familiar with him, let me tell you, this guy is a physical freak, and he's just beginning to show what he can do on the field. According to Tim Bielik from Cleveland.com, Sellers is currently ranked among the top quarterbacks for the 2026 draft. And there's good reason for that. His first season as a starter at South Carolina was nothing short of impressive. What immediately jumps out about Sellers is his size. He's a massive 6 feet 4 inches, around 242 pounds. And he's surprisingly agile for his frame. You don't often see a quarterback with that kind of build who can also run like a running back. Bielik points out that Sellers is as electrifying a playmaker as there is in college football right now. And that's not just hype. What makes Sellers stand out even more is his arm talent. His throws are powerful, with a rifle for an arm. But he's not just a cannon-armed quarterback who struggles with accuracy. On the contrary, reports suggest that he's quite precise, even with deep throws. That kind of combination, size, athleticism, arm strength, and accuracy, is rare. Experts compare him to guys like Jayden Daniels and Anthony Richardson, both of whom are known for their athleticism and big play ability. Sellers checks a lot of boxes that NFL scouts look for in a franchise quarterback. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for Browns fans. Cleveland's current quarterback situation has been a roller coaster over the past few seasons. We saw flashes from Deshaun Watson, who was brought in to be the franchise savior. But injuries and inconsistency have marred his tenure so far. Behind him, The Browns have been testing the waters with young quarterbacks like Dillon Gabriel, drafted in the third round in 2025, and Shedeur Sanders, a fifth-round pick with a lot of promise. Gabriel has impressed during minicamps, showing polish and leadership, but he's still unproven at the NFL level. Sanders, meanwhile, has been making waves in practice, completing over 77% of his passes and throwing 9 touchdowns in drills, which is pretty remarkable for a rookie at this stage. Yet, he's still at the bottom of the depth chart, and there's no doubt that Cleveland is keeping a close eye on the future. With 2 first-round picks in 2026, the Browns could be in a prime position to make an aggressive move, either to draft a quarterback like Sellers or to trade up for a player they believe can be a game changer. This kind of flexibility is rare, and it shows that Cleveland is serious about finding their long-term answer at quarterback. Every snap from a prospect like Sellers or any other top-tier quarterback will be scrutinized under a microscope as the Browns evaluate their options. The franchise is clearly thinking ahead, and it's exciting for his fans to see that kind of strategic planning. But let's not forget, the Browns aren't just about the future. The present still holds plenty of promise. This season, Cleveland has a talented roster led by stars like Myles Garrett, one of the best defensive players in the league, and Nick Chubb, who, before his injury, was arguably the most explosive running back in the NFL. The offensive line has been improving, and the receiving core, featuring Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones, provides enough firepower to compete on any given Sunday. The coaching staff, led by head coach Kevin Stefanski, has been working tirelessly to develop this team into a playoff contender. The AFC North, as always, remains one of the most competitive divisions in football, with the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers all vying for supremacy. But Cleveland's strategic moves, including this bold draft plan, could give them that extra edge needed to finally break through and make a deep playoff run. Looking ahead, the 2024 and 2025 seasons will be crucial in shaping the future of the franchise. Cleveland is in a unique position where they can afford to be patient, develop their current core, and hold a high draft pick that could land them a potential superstar quarterback. The NFL draft is often unpredictable, but with the Browns' current assets and the talent coming in the next couple of years, they're positioning themselves as serious contenders for the top prospects. Now, imagine a scenario where Cleveland uses their 2026 first-round pick to move up and secure a quarterback like Sellers or another highly rated signal caller. That could be the missing piece to unlock the team's full potential. Think about how a fresh, talented quarterback with Sellers' physical tools and passing ability could elevate this offense. With a solid offensive line, a dynamic running game, and a defense that's been steadily improving under Stefanski's leadership, the Browns could be on the verge of a renaissance. The division rivals are watching, and the AFC North could see a new power emerge in the coming years, one that could shake up the entire league. Of course, all of this hinges on how Cleveland manages their current roster, their draft strategy, and how the young quarterbacks like Gabriel and Sanders develop. But the overarching storyline here is clear. The Browns are playing the long game, and they're not afraid to make bold moves to position themselves for sustained success. Every offseason move, every draft decision, is part of a bigger plan to build a team that can contend for a Super Bowl once again. Fans are eager, the energy is high, and the future looks promising. But it's also filled with uncertainty, which makes every game, every draft, and every decision even more exciting to watch. And as we look at the bigger picture, it's impossible not to reflect on Cleveland's rich football history. The city has always been passionate about its Browns, and that passion fuels the team's drive to succeed. From the days of Bernie Kosar leading the charge to the heartbreak of the 1980s AFC Championship games, and now to this new chapter where bold moves are being made. The story of the Browns is one of resilience, hope, and relentless pursuit of greatness. The franchise has faced setbacks, but the core fanbase remains loyal and optimistic, always believing that brighter days are ahead. So, what's next for Cleveland? We'll be watching closely as the offseason unfolds, analyzing every move, every signing, and every draft rumor. The Browns front office has shown they're not afraid to shake things up. And with the possibility of landing a franchise quarterback in the 2026 draft, the entire landscape of the AFC North could shift dramatically. This division, which has been dominated by the Ravens' tough defense, the Bengals' explosive offense, and the Steelers' gritty toughness, might soon have a new contender rising from the ashes. In the end, Cleveland fans, it's an exciting time. The team's strategic planning, the potential of young quarterbacks like Sellers, Gabriel, and Sanders, and the upcoming draft all point towards a future that could be very bright. The Browns are no longer just a team trying to rebuild. They're a franchise that's positioning itself to compete at the highest level, aiming for that elusive Super Bowl. And as fans, we get to be part of this journey, witnessing the twists and turns, the ups and downs, and ultimately, the hope that someday soon, Cleveland will once again hoist that Lombardi Trophy. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates. So stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.